Good morning, everybody. This is Lindy. You haven't seen me for a while. I've been in a quiet area. Um, I wanted to talk about the hardships in van life. You know, everybody I talk to, I say, I'm not trying to sell van life. And I'm not. And I'm not trying to unsell it either. I'm not trying to say, oh, don't do it, because that's not my reality. I would love to say, yeah, you do it, but maybe you're just not meant to do it. Maybe you just can't do it. And it's because you really enjoy your life the way it is. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. For me, I enjoy challenges. I have to say, when I have a hardship, I enjoy the challenge of trying to get over that hardship. So for me, van life was an adventure. It was to get out of paying high rent and always having to work every single day just to make my rent, much less food and other things, even with food banks and things like that. But it's just something I wanted to do. More than that, I mean, there were many, many reasons, but the hardships. Let's talk about some of those. And I know I've talked about some before. Do you have a cooler? If you do, right now I'm dealing with a cooler because the refrigerator died and I just do not want to spend the money. Now, mind you, I spend a lot of money on ice, but I get a lot of ice for free. And I have an ice maker. So I'm dealing with it right now because I have to think about it. Do I really want to spend that money? Ice is water. Now, you take that ice and now I have arthritis. I don't know about any of you, but I have arthritis and I shake. And some of my films you'll see, I am shaking. Okay? Well, the reality is I'm 76 and I'm old. Let's just face it. So these things happen. When I go to get ice out and open up the bag, sure enough, I have yet to not open up a bag and get ice all over everywhere. You know, when I try to pour it into 1 gallon plastic baggies, because it needs to, because those bags leak. So I don't want all of that water in my cooler. So, and if you have it on the floor and it starts to melt before you can get to it, just water. That creates mold. So you're continuously fighting the ice, trying to find it wherever it's spilled. At least I am. So that I can clean it up. Now at home, you could just put it in the sink. And I may just install a sink. And you could do it and the ice wouldn't go everywhere. But in a van, I'm doing it just sitting on the bed, trying to fill an ice bag on a little counter. Trash. When I go shopping, again, there's only so much room in a van. That has to be on the top of your mind. Whenever you shop, whatever you do, whatever you buy, you have to consider the room in your van and can you put it away. And that means you have to look at all packaging of any item, whether it be food, whether it be you bought something in a box. What are you going to do with all that? You have to figure that out. That's a hardship. Because at home, easy. You just put it out in the trash. Not so in a van. You don't have a trash can you can push out. No. How about the toilet? You can't just flush your personal stuff away, okay? You have to deal with it every single day. You can't just let it go. You have to deal with it every single day. Well, how about the hot heat? If it's summer, how about the cold if it's winter? Now, you at home can just press a little button, start a little thing. Sure enough, you got heat or you got air conditioning, if you're not in a blackout. And if you don't, they don't bring down the whole grid. In a van, not so easy. You need solar. You need some kind of power. Everything in a van has to be thought through. Every time you do anything at all, even getting an animal like I got Marley, I have to think about making room for her, making sure she's happy, making sure she's safe. All of that has to be considered, and you have to have room for this dog to move inside the van, which means you lose space. You have open space. You can't just crowd everything in here and expect to walk front to back. You have to have a pathway. And for her, I have to have a place for her dishes. I have to know where her food is. And now I keep a lid on her water because the litter, before I had the dish I had, didn't have a lid, and water was going everywhere. Again, clean up that water. How about the dust? Now, in your houses, you do dust all the time. So, dust does get in your house. Well, think about the van. 10 times the dust. You've got your windows open, you've got your doors open. Dust is continually coming through. That's something you have to do on a daily basis, and you can't, even on a daily basis, keep up with it. So if you have flowers on your roof, plastic flowers, what are you going to do? Take everything out and use a hose on them? Because they're going to be filthy dirty in 6 months. And that's hundreds of dollars that you're spending for those plastic flowers. Some people do that. They put plastic flowers on their ceiling. Are you kidding? That's not even realistic for someone like me. I can't keep that clean. Trust me, I can't do it. Every leaf, every vine, the dust that gets in, you just have to rip it out every 6 months and then put new in, as far as I'm concerned. Now, that's just me, okay? Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different lifestyle. Every single one of you do. But cleanliness, to me, is really hard in a van, and I'm a clean nut. I just want to keep things clean. I cannot do it. I go through every day and clean a different item every single day that has not been cleaned for, say, a month. And you try to hit every single thing you can do. But that's really hard. You don't do that in a house, okay? And, gee golly shucks, you can go get water. You can just turn on a faucet. Me, I could have installed a sink. I could have installed a faucet. But then I have to worry about the pipes breaking and the water damaging and mold. And I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. So I pick up a 1-gallon container and I pour out of it. Now I have a little jar that I pour. When my ice melts, I pour the water in there, and I use that water to clean my dishes or do whatever it is that I need to do. And many times I use that water for Marley's drinking water. So I'm not continually buying water. So my ice price is also water. So that's 2 in 1. And no, I'm not buying water, so I have to consider that part of the price, So that's a little bit of a savings. Again, how many things do I do that you do in your house that you might do in 10 minutes and it takes me an hour to do? I have to move everything out to really properly sweep the floor. I sweep it every day, just the aisleway. But you got to move everything out because crumbs fall, dust gathers, something maybe fell you didn't see in behind the counter or the stool that you have. It's a constant battle to clean. Very constant. Then when you go grocery shopping, what do? Well, I take, and it's usually a couple of hours, I take everything out of the containers they're in, unless they're in a jar, and I put them into a new container, a baggie. I'm just saying, this is what I do. So on a daily basis, which is hard for me to film, but I'm going to try and film a day, just a day of life in my van. So it's not all peaches and cream. It's not all going to the beach and running along in a bikini. It's not having flowers on your roof. It's not any of that. It is daily life, real life that you face on a daily basis. It's hardship. It's not easy. But for someone like me, it's well worth it. And I'll tell you something. I'm more physically fit than I was before I moved into this van. I've lost weight. since I moved into this van. I've become more agile, and my brain is a little bit sharper. I don't know how much sharper, but it's a little bit, and it's very noticeable. So, I mean, there are benefits that, you really do receive, but it is a hard life. It's not made for sissies. You can't be a sissy and have this life, because it isn't going to happen. You have daily routines just like in a house, but yours take longer, and because I have a short van, I can't stand up, which makes it even more difficult. Me, it doesn't bother, but it makes it more difficult to do things in the van. I would just stutter. I just thought I would talk about this for a few minutes. I know you haven't seen me for a while, but I've been in a very quiet mode, thinking about all the videos I want to do and what I want to tell you. And now I have to put them and record them and think about them. I mean, there are times I need to just think, because you guys give me questions, and I want to be able to answer them as best I can. I'm not going to answer all of them because some of them are obnoxious questions. What can I tell you? Not the best questions I ever saw. And some of them, you really don't need to know the answer. But I just wanted to share in the fact that I'm seeing the interviews, I'm going, that's not real. That's not realistic. That's not, I don't live like that. That's not that easy. I want you to know van life is not easy, but it's beneficial to you, particularly seniors. Makes you get up and think. Makes you think, move, be active, greet people, be social. It helps you a little bit. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time, Camo.